Hello, welcome back to the IVF Daddies Podcast. My name is Julio.
And my name is Richard.
So what are we talking about today?
Me, because I'm fabulous.
No, you said I'm amazing all the time.
Today we're going to be talking about something that came up in a conversation we were having with a friend this week, which is endometriosis. And what is it and how does it affect people and all those different things. But how did it come up?
Well, it came up because our friend had to have surgery, and then you asked the question, is like, how was the pain? And then she said, what do you mean? And you said, like, how was the pain when you were having the endometriosis before the surgery? And I'm like, no, I didn't have any pain. And then we talk about how did she find out, and we're talking about the fact that there is no, like when you go to an OBGYN or when you go to a gynecologist, there's only a smear, whatever that is, and that's it. Like a man over 50 is in the annual checkup, a prostate exam that is not even like, I want to go see my prostate. It's the complete opposite. I've seen men, the family are like, you need to get your prostate checked.
The annual or the anal?
The annual check, you get an anus.
Prostate. So anyway, so we were talking to our friend about this, and I asked her, was it painful? I actually meant, was the operation painful?
No, you didn't mean that. You meant no, because you said before, and then she said what it was painful was the surgery. And then she said, if you're going to talk about it, what you need to talk about is that it's an invisible disease. I mean, is it a disease? I don't know. I know that psychologically or scientifically, we have conditions. And conditions, when they're positive, they're turned into identities. And when they're negative, they're turned into illness or disease, or they're called illness and diseases. So I don't think endometriosis is something positive. So, and she said that if we're going to talk about it, mention the fact that you don't feel anything. Sometimes it takes up to 7 years or 8 years for people to be identified as fibros.
And endometriosis.
Is endometriosis and fibrosis
different things? Yeah. Endometriosis is when the uterus lining, it's tissue, it's called endometrial lining or endometrial tissue, grows outside of the uterus. So instead of growing in the uterus and then you shed it every month as your period, it's growing on the other side, which means
why would it grow on the other side?
It's a disease. That's the point. And so what it does is it's growing on the other side, and it can wrap itself around the ovaries. It can go into your bowels. It can cause all these different kinds of obstructions.
That's like when people have a hairy bum.
Not sure.
And some not.
Possibly. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about, but sure.
Like, you're not supposed to have a hairy bum.
Are you not?
No, outside. And the cheeks.
Endometriosis. Oh my God. And you say I distract?
Why are you red?
Because I'm
why are you red?
That's just not what we're talking about.
Okay, so it's something that it shouldn't happen. The body's not, it's confused and it grows whatever, the lining outside the uterus. We're not doctors. We're not here to like tell you exactly how it works. But what we're here to fight for is, and rattle everyone around, is that she said, when you get your annual checkup, not in your anus, annual, for men after 50 is like once a year, check your prostate. For women, you have to request it. You have to pay separate for it. Sometimes you're not believed. Sometimes they'll blame it on you're being dramatic or in the hormones. What is the threshold on pain of a cramp?
Again, this comes back into that. I think there is a societal degradation of women and belief in what they're saying. Because when you have a woman saying, I've got period pains, men are like, ugh, whatever. I recently saw on Instagram, there was men who they put patches on them and gave them the equivalent pain of a period pain. And they were in tears. It was so painful. So why is it that we can sit and talk to a woman who's going, oh my God, I'm in such pain. And we're like, oh, it's fine, get over it. That is not a problem. And I think this comes back into what we're banging on about, because it's all about empowering people to make decisions and choices about their body. You're not going to know. The problem with endometriosis is you don't know something's wrong.
Well, yeah, but women are not believed because women have been lied to their entire lives because women think that this is 7 inches. Women have been told their entire life that this is 7 inches.
I know.
So
you would know, babe.
I wouldn't know. But the thing is, my question is, so when you let's link this to IVF and surrogacy. When you go, we're telling people, freeze your eggs. Do you scan and you have images of scan of the part of the process of freezing your eggs? Yes or no?
Of the eggs? Yeah. But it's not.
No,
yes.
but I just so you have I don't know the difference between CT scan, MRI, ultrasound. I don't have any idea.
Let me very quickly, let me tell you, an ultrasound is done by echo. CT scan is done by
a CT,
X-ray, and an MRI is done by magnets. So when I had my MRI on my heart, I went into the machine and they were like, do you have any metal on you or in you? And I was like, no, I didn't, apart from my teeth. And this machine whizzes around. It was horrible. It was like,
how can you not have metal if you're gold?
But that was an MRI.
I was going to say your heart is gold, but you had a heart problem.
I had a heart attack. It's not that golden.
Yeah, but then the doctor saw an image of your heart, right?
Yeah.
So you can see images for heart attacks. You can see images for broken bone. You can see an image for
an embryo or an egg. Yeah.
So why there's no imaging, scanning, testing, echo, whatever for this type of invisible diseases?
I couldn't agree more. And this is what I don't understand. It's almost like when women go for their smear test, which is for cervical cancer, or they go for their annual checkups, why isn't there a list of things to, for example, we need to do an endometriosis scan, or we need to just check your ovaries to make sure that they're okay, or we need to check your antral follicle count, we need to check your egg quantity. This should be standard practice, and it's not. I think it comes down to 2 things. One is money. It costs money to do this, and who's going to pay for it? And 2, again, it's that degradation of women in a societal perspective. Second-class citizens.
Then I will challenge you on that one, because money comes to, not every country has the same healthcare system.
Right.
So it's the same. Do you have to pay?
But somebody still has to pay for it.
But do you have to pay in the UK, and do you have to pay in?
So it's different, right? The UK system is a government system. It's the National Health Service, the NHS. We pay for that through our taxes. The taxes pay for everything that happens in the NHS. In the United States, you pay for your insurance, you pay on your own, and you go on your own. So you're paying for everything you're doing. It's still being paid by somebody. It's just the way the UK system works is it's kind of taken from everybody, put into a pot, and that pot is then spent. So if all of a sudden we say every woman needs to have an endometrial scan just to check, there's a...
But for example, here, I'm in Spain, you get a blood test every year. If I want to know what type of blood am I have to pay extra. It's not covered. I have to pay. It's like a luxury item.
Right. My point is, it's not even being offered because many, many people, as I didn't realize, but as our friend was saying, is it didn't hurt. She didn't know until she knew. It's like infertility. You don't know until you know.
It's kind of weird because if it didn't hurt, why did you, how did you, what are the, please, can you let us know in the comments if you've ever gone through this or know anybody that knows through this. What make you say, wait a second, something is not feeling right in my body. It doesn't hurt. My skin, is that your skin that changes? What is it? When is that tipping point?
Or maybe it does hurt in some people.
No. For those people that have had the surgery.
Yeah. It's what made you think there's an issue here? Because
if it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. It's we have a definition of infertility. We know when we're infertile, when we have been trying and having unprotected sex for a year and not getting pregnant. There are no symptoms apart from the fact that you're not getting pregnant. So I wonder if you're not trying to get pregnant, you're not even going to know you're infertile until you try. So is it the same with endometriosis? Is it the same with diminished ovarian reserve, which is where there are some women that go into early menopause? I was talking to somebody this week who has MRKH, which is a syndrome. I know it's really long. I can't remember what it's called, but basically she was born without a uterus. And they only found out when she was 16 and still had not had her period.
Oh, you're going to make us get into a debate of what makes a woman, especially with the law of the UK now. Or we just had a huge argument about...
You so wanted to bring this into the podcast.
I need to just, like, I have the gloves on, and the debate of the countries that confirm that a biological woman is XX, period. No pun intended.
No. The definition of a female in the United Kingdom was classified this week by the Supreme Court as somebody that is born biologically female. That means somebody that was born XX, which means that anybody who is trans is not classified as a female.
Well,
I don't want to get into this because it's so wrong.
I know we're not going to get into this, but there's like, it's so multifaceted. It's like asking a person, it's like if I ask you, who are you? It's so multifaceted. It's like correlation to what? Like father, work, family, nationality. It's just, there's so many areas. I do believe that, yes, okay, produces the egg, XY produces the sperm. You have a friend that was born without a uterus. Does that make her less of a woman?
No. And this is the thing. It's like, again, it just comes back into back away. Leave us alone. Let people be who they want to be. Who are you to tell us what we can and cannot do with our bodies and our lives? Like, it really irks me. And I don't know if it's because they have to create a separate bathroom. Like, I don't even know where this whole debate came from, because it just is so asinine with all the stuff that is going on as well. That is what they choose to pick on. I'm like, really?
Yeah, okay. I guess there's a distraction so you don't see the corruption behind it.
The state of the economy, the wars going on, the famines, the starvation, the disease. Like, no, we're going to focus on 300,000 trans people in the United Kingdom and deny them their rights. I'm like, I just want to swear. Sorry. You know, we've had 2 episodes. We've had an episode with a trans lady on this podcast who just, you could tell, was struggling with the political situation in the United States. And we had an episode with the mother of a trans child. And it's just, why? Let people be. Love is love. Just leave them alone.
I mean, there's a societal aspect of it, and there's an identity part of it. And I also believe that there are people that define themselves as non-binary, transgender women, not women. And there's transgender women that define themselves as women. But then, of course, if you get in surgery, I would assume the same amount of anesthesia to an XY chromosome human is not the same as an XX chromosome human. We have been equally as binary as non-binary, and it's contradictory. And I think we're all contradictory. We have said the female biology is unfair more than male biology. That we're boxing female biology. So societal wise, okay, legal aspects of it, making people feel better, mental health, let them be who they want. But if you get into a car accident, I would assume that if you are, I don't know, I would assume that you would need different type of medication if you're a man or a woman.
I actually physically can't tell if you're trying to provoke me or not. Not either, but just, I think, sorry, my blood is starting to boil.
And you know, you know that I'm like do let people be happy, mental health. But if we're talking about let's make a baby, you need an egg and a sperm. And a person that did a surgery to become a woman is not going to produce eggs.
No, but she produced sperm pre-surgery.
And then we also talked about that some people don't want to get the sperm frozen again, or even if they don't have the surgery, because that could trigger body dysmorphia, or that could, so it's just it's a very delicate topic. So, I mean, I can go on the reason why it shouldn't even be touched, especially how much money did this, I will go first, how much money did the government spend on that could have been spent on a better use? And another thing, what you do with your coochie box or your banana peel here is none of anybody's business.
Right. J.K. Rowling, back away. Like, literally.
Yeah, nobody watch Harry Potter anymore, please.
Let's center and come back to positivity.
Yes.
He was desperate to get that on the podcast today.
Okay, so back to endometriosis. So
what?
To endometriosis. So
Why
the reason is,
Lotus?
but no, because to me, as I remember, I'm a huge fan of, like, I mean, my dream come true is to be a forensic psychologist, and I learned a lot about psychology. And I remember reading this book about this doctor that was created the machine of brain scan imaging, because back in the day, it was not only not existent, it was not allowed to even be used. Because I guess for the system was a lot easier to put people in jail than see if it had any social or psychological impact, the reason why they made a decision, until this doctor created a machine that gives you images of the brain. Somebody committed a crime, they found the image, they saw a tumor, they removed the tumor, the person went back to normal. So why don't we have imaging for endometriosis, but we're paying a lot of money for laws?
Yeah.
You are a woman if you are XX. But then 3,000 people in 2021 had 3,000 men suffer from breast cancer. 38,000.
I'm not sure how that ties in, but sure.
People,
but no, it is. It's how do people choose and who do people choose what gets done? Like, I come back to what I was saying before. I just think that women need to be checked on all of these things, because if you don't know something, you don't know it. If you are not told...
You say that in every podcast.
I know, but
not
it's
the
true.
Amazing part, but that you don't know what you don't know. We all know that. It's 5 seasons of the unknown.
And we're here to make that unknown known.
We're going to call it IVF, you don't know what you don't know, daddies. But, yes, to your point, why can't we have... Yes. Okay, to your point, why can't we have every year a year checkup of a man, including prostate exam to avoid prostate cancer, and not even like, I want to go check my prostate. The complete opposite. Some men don't even want to go and they're forced to. But women, they're not believed. They have to fight for it. They've been called dramatic. They've been called hormonal. They are saying you're exaggerating. And let's not even start on like black women.
100%. Black maternal health is probably at an all-time low, and gynecological health for the black population is at an all-time low. Again, I think, why? Like, it's just, what does society have that stops us from educating people about their bodies and making them aware of what could be wrong? It's not normal to have any form of pain. It's not normal. And it's also, if you don't have the pain, well, then you assume nothing's wrong. I get that.
Well, they're called invisible diseases.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Did you know a seahorse is a fish, but a starfish is not a fish?
And seahorses is the man that carries the baby.
Yeah, but he's a fish.
He's a horse.
No, it's a fish. But starfish are not a fish.
They're a star.
Yeah. And also, one of the things that I want to know, if any of you have had any endometriosis procedure, I would like to know, and maybe we can dive in if you guys want us to talk about it and shine the light on it. What happened after you get the procedures? Are your hormones the same? Do you change? Do you have to get hormone regulation?
Does it come back?
Oh, that's true. Can it
Because
grow?
if you think about it, if it's growing on the outside in the first place, what's stopping it coming back again?
And if you shed every month, what if it grows again?
Your endometrial lining grows every month when you're having your period. So if you have it removed, does it then grow back? I mean, like, logically.
So are you telling me that there's something that happened to women every month since they get their period and nobody cared to put a camera imaging on a test? Female doctors... calling out to every female doctor, please, let's take action.
Maybe they are, but I haven't heard about it. I don't know if there's a scan. I'm not a female doctor and I'm not a female, especially not now in the...
Why does women go to the gynecologist every month? Like, what do they do there?
I don't think they go every month, do they? They go every year. You don't go every month. Again, I don't know. I've never been to a gynecologist. I have... Well, that's a lie. I have because they're friends and I've gone for lunch, but not been checked by a gynecologist. So what happened? Maybe, hey, we need a gynecologist on and they can tell us what happens, what should happen.
That gynecologist is going to be grilled. This is like, how can you not ask the questions?
They do, but this is we're making assumptions.
No, I'm giving you the experiences of 3 of my sisters saying, after hearing your first season of your podcast, I cannot believe that I'm 28, 36, and nobody have asked, do you want to check your egg count? Do you want to know about your fertility? Do you want to know about your endometriosis? Nobody have ever asked them that. And I'm talking about Spain and Miami and Venezuela. 3 countries, and it's not a coincidence.
Have you noticed you're all in white and I'm all in black? That was not on purpose.
Well, so thank you for putting up with our rage.
Blings.
No, rage more than
No, but it is. I think these are conversations that people should be having, and it's really prescient for us, obviously, because our friend had it and she's fine. But it's like, again, the topics that we talk about are topics that come up in our lives, and this is not something that we would have ever thought about.
Yeah, because we have a daughter.
My point is, it is now, but not until now, right? Because why would I be thinking about endometriosis until our friend had it? And then it's like, oh, why would I be thinking about all these other things? We come across it, we talk about it, we deep dive into it. I know, sorry, that was a
triple D.
That was a deep dive into it. Probably not that deep. We need a doctor to go deeper.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we're going to go now. Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for listening.